satisfying the appetite because it signals the brain that you're satisfied. And it comes in a lot of different flavors, and stevia is very safe and effective and doesn't cause any chemical toxicity, but it is very helpful with diets. Now, the other tip is never eat the same food twice in a day. In other words, better variety. So you eat different foods for dinner than you did at lunch. And, you know, if you have chicken, spinach, or strawberries for lunch, you have fish, orange, and asparagus for dinner. You know, just variety. And our body actually does better with variety because we get a better variety of nutrients, because nutrient-dense foods. That's one of the things we need to do. And you should eat fruits at least 6 hours apart so the body can utilize the carbohydrates at a time when your body needs them to keep you going. And so I usually have a fruit every morning and another fruit in the afternoon. And usually my fruit in the afternoon is an apple. Usually my fruit in the morning is like a grapefruit or an orange, because those are very good to keep you healthy during flu season, plus vitamin C's, bioflavonoids in the citrus fruits, and then the apple has pectin and malic acid that helps the liver to dissolve toxins. And so those two fruits are some of my favorite, although berries are very loaded with flavonoids and antiviral herbal material. And so berries are very good in the winter also. Now, you got to read your labels. You got to avoid sugar, especially refined sugar, starches, yeast, and any kind of oils that are not beneficial oils. There's good fats and bad fats. Some of the best fats are safflower oil, sunflower oil, olive oil is one of the very best, and coconut oil, believe it or not. Coconut oil is very good for helping with weight loss. And so those are the kind of oils you want to use. Now, herbs and different seasonings are very good for weight loss. Cilantro, basil, mints, rosemary, ginger, garlic, parsley, sage, thyme, curry, chilies, scallions, those kind of things are very good for weight loss. And always, you know, a lot of docs suggest using keto sticks, checking for your ketosis, because if you're not in ketosis, you're actually not losing fat. You can be hungry as all get out, and if you're not leaving ketones, you might just be low blood sugar, but you're not getting rid of your ketones. So some people like to check for ketones with a keto stick, and those are available at your local pharmacy, or even herb stores have keto sticks. Now, another thing that I recommend to people is something called a ionic foot detox bath. Now, these are kind of crazy, and you know, when I first heard about them 30 years ago, I didn't really believe in them, but came to find they actually work, and they do change the color of the water, and it's not just the arrays causing that change. It actually puts an electrical current that ionizes the water and then ionizes the body, and can ionize the toxins and bring them out through the feet. And believe it or not, a lot of heavy metals end up in our feet, and that's why so many people have foot problems, is we have a lot of toxins in our feet because they're heavier and they move down into our feet. And so a foot detox is actually very beneficial, and I found over the years it helps with weight loss, and it helps remove heavy metals and toxins, help the liver do its job, helps the kidneys do its job, and it helps release those toxins released through burning the fats. And So it works very nice. And then another thing I use a lot of is this CLNZ chelator. It helps get heavy metals and toxins out of the body, plastics, cellular debris, gets caffeine, tobacco, those kind of things out. Another thing I've been using a lot of is methylators such as GSHX and G-Cell, which are made by Systemic Formulas. They help the liver in phase 1 and phase 2 detoxing, which are different ways our body detoxes through the liver. And the G-Cell is actually very beneficial to help detox and in phase 1 and phase 2 detoxing in the liver. And that makes you a lot healthier, because most of our livers are suffering because of the petrochemicals and toxins in the environment. So that's something that I've added to my arsenal to use. And the G-Cell, the cleanse, the weight loss drops, the potassium, and the Ultra B12, because you lose B vitamins. Those are a part of our special we're running at our office in St. George, Utah. We're offering it's about $250 worth of weight loss products for $120 plus shipping. So essentially you're getting it for more than 50% off, but you're getting some really good products that help. Now, I talked a little bit about B vitamins, because when you're going through weight loss, believe it or not, it puts a load on the liver, a load on the kidneys, and you lose B vitamins because the B vitamins get burned up in the process of weight loss. And so taking B vitamins is very essential, and one of the best ones I found is this one called Ultra B12, which it has 3 types of vitamin B12, but it also has B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, all the other B vitamins. And they're very essential for the nervous system. And as you know, people get real irritable when they're doing weight loss. And the reason why is their B vitamins get lost in the process of the weight loss. And you have to replace those, or the nervous system gets very irritable. You get anxious, you get hyper irritable, sounds, light, different things get very irritable to the brain. And so you become light sensitive, sound sensitive, people annoy you easier, and it's not just due to you losing weight, it's due to you losing those B vitamins. And so you got to replace the B vitamins, and it helps detox the brain, detox the nervous system, helps stabilize everything, and very good for stress, because weight loss is a very stressful process for a lot of people. That's why a lot of people fail at it and don't do very well. Okay, so you don't weigh yourself more than once a week, because we can vary in our weight 3 to 4 pounds just from fluid retention, water retention in our body. So it's best not to weigh yourself every day, because you get discouraged easy, especially on those days you might be retaining fluid. And women during their periods, they'll retain water, and so it's one of those things you don't want to get discouraged just because your weight's up because of water. And so only weigh once a week while doing the weight loss plan. So you don't want stress, because excessive cortisol released in the body can also stall your weight loss. And cortisol comes because of stress. And that's the other reason the B vitamins are good, is they lower that threshold where you start releasing the cortisol, because they help the adrenal glands do their job, the kidneys do their job, and the liver do its job. and keeps stress down. That's why they used to call them stress vitamins, you know, vitamin B stress vitamins. Okay, another thing that's really good is using a amino acid enhancer. You know, I used to put people on Bragg's liquid aminos because they're a good flavoring for the vegetables and meats and salads, but they're made of amino acids, and so taking recovery acids is actually recovery amino acids is very good. We carry those at our office too. And because you lose a lot of electrolytes, a lot of people crave salt during weight loss. But if you get too much table salt into you, you can actually raise your blood pressure and increase your water retention. And so I like to use real salt or real sea salt or Himalayan sea salt because it's got potassium chloride in it as well as sodium chloride. So it's much better for you and much more balanced. It's also got a lot of the trace elements in that help with weight loss. And it can have up to 72 different types of minerals, which is very beneficial because humans need a lot of different minerals in trace quantities. And the sea salt, the Himalayan sea salt, the real salt out of Redmond, Utah, the Celtic sea salt is very good. So those kind of salts are very good for you. Now the other thing you got to remember is avoid MSG, you know, artificial sweeteners, believe it or not, spartamine, NutraSweet, all of them are neurotoxins, and they will cause imbalances and cravings. The body thinks that it's getting sweet, so it pushes a little more insulin out because it's anticipating your sugar level go up, and then it actually doesn't go up because you're on a diet trying to stay away from sugars, and so it makes you even hungrier. So using artificial sugars and food flavoring enhancers is very bad during a diet, so don't use them. Okay, so that's talking about the weight loss tips. If you'd like a copy of the regime we're using, we can send you these weight loss tips. Just call the office, 435-986-0025. Ask for the weight loss tips or the special on the weight loss. We can send you that so you can look at it, you know, shoot you an email with the weight loss tips attached or the weight loss special attached, so you can look at the products, go check them out on systemicformulas.com. We even have the 90-day detox available. It's a little more pricey, but boy, what price can you put on your health, you know, and it removes toxins. It's kept me alive because I would have been dead at the age of 45 if I hadn't done this detox, and so it's been very helpful for me. It got the plastics out of my body, the heavy metals and toxins, and made my organs come back, and so very, very helpful. Okay, so we've talked about that. Now I want to talk a little bit more. Oh, we've got a caller.
Doctor, can we take some calls?
You bet. Let's take a call.
All right, we got a lot of people called in, want to speak to you. So folks, if you're on the phones and we got about 20 minutes left of the program, if you want to speak to the doctor, make sure you press the 1 on your phone, okay? Very important, 347-884-8245. Press 1 on your phone to come aboard. Let's go to Arizona and Angel.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Hi, Arizona Angel. How are you?
Oh, I wish I could say that I'm doing better, but when I saw that you were speaking today, I got really excited. I have been experiencing a wide range of symptoms. after being what I consider to be very healthy for most of my life. I'm 37 years old, and in this last 2017, I started experiencing, I guess you could say, fibromyalgia symptoms.
Yes.
I don't want to say that I have fibromyalgia. I actually used to practice medical intuition and intuitive readings up until the last 2 years when I started a cleaning company to support my holistic practice. So I just feel like my health has just been spiraling out of control, and I feel like I'm a healthy person. I don't eat chemicals. I try as much as I can to buy organic vegetables and fruits when possible. And, I've been experiencing headaches every day. I've seen a couple doctors. I understand that detoxing might be probably the best solution to get to the root of the issue, but what would you recommend? Because I'm not even sure what to do. I feel like I'm 25% of myself now.
Yes, and that's an awful place to be. Intuitively, what I'm sensing is that in the cleaning of the houses, you got exposed to a lot of different toxins, and also you got exposed to a lot of different fungus and molds, and those lowered your immune response, which allowed viruses to come in. Now, the viruses are what cause fibromyalgia. And the specific viruses that cause fibromyalgia is Epstein-Barr virus, cytomegalovirus, and the variola virus. And these are very common viruses because we actually they're using a lot of them to modify our food. Now, the variola virus was modified from smallpox, and can cause, a lot of problems with the liver and the kidneys and sap your energy. The Epstein-Barr causes the chronic fatigue and can cause problems with the kidneys and the liver again. And the cytomegalovirus causes a lot of problems with the liver and the immune system through the lymphatic system and suppressing the thymus, which is the main gland for the immune system, produces the T cells and the immunoglobulins, and causes cancers even in the lymphatics, lymphomas and leukemias, different things like that. So when you get these viruses, it causes the body's immune system to just go down the tube, and the fungus contributes to it, and these viruses can hide in the fungus and come right back out and infect you. So whenever I've treated fibromyalgia, and I actually became a specialist in fibromyalgia back in the early 90s, because I was one of the few MDs that believed in it, and I was practicing down in Phoenix, Arizona, and treating a lot of people with what they used to call fibromyositis, because you had these muscle aches and pains, and it was in the tendons and the sinews. And so the way I treated this was with antivirals and antifungals, and we would get people well. And so it was kind of involved, but getting the toxins out helps the immune system to also reactivate. And so when I learned how to detox people, I first learned to use chelation therapy. And then I learned how to use Asiac tea and cat's claw, because that kind of cleans out the cells also. And they use it to clean up cancer even. And then I learned about medicinal mushrooms and maitake, shiitake mushrooms, the royal agaricus. Those kind of mushrooms were very helpful also to not only kill fungus, but helped with virus and the immune system. And then when systemics came out with their different formulations, and I learned about them in the mid-1990s, I started using them to help regenerate the organs.